Welcome, guys, to the Renaissance Podcast. Today, we got some dope content. We're comparing all the actors that played Spider-Man in each franchise. Obviously, you already know who it is. Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, and Tobey Maguire. So pretty much, Alex will be...
Toby.
We'll be giving Toby's side. Andrew Garfield will be Alan's side.
Yes,
and
sir.
obviously, I got Tom Holland.
Let us know in the comments who you guys think is the best Spider-Man.
Any other characters y'all want to compare to, movies that y'all want us to compare, make sure you comment down below.
This is just the start. This is just the start.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. So the way this video is going to be broken down into is going to be 7 different rounds with 7 different questions, just like how a real boxing fight would go. So we're going to have 2 losers, and we have 1 minute to say why our actor is the best, why our Peter is the best.
Let's go.
So
all right,
round one.
What's the first question? All right, so of course Tobey had the best backstory, and you know that's an easy one for me because I'm the OG. I'm the first movies. You got to explain the backstory. You got to explain, you know, how Spider-Man got to that point.
True.
Before you even get to Andrew Garfield's or even Tom Holland with their
sir.
Spider-Man. So you know, for Tobey, he had explained from Uncle Ben, from MJ,
Rest
all
in
that good
peace.
stuff. With great power comes great responsibility. But
Yes.
overall, the backstory had to be first with the OG to know the situation and explain why Spider-Man is how he is. And I feel like, you know, I just had the best backstory overall. Great character development. You know, the aunt and, you know, just Peter's best friend, you know, just everything pretty much put into place so that in the future, you know why those situations are how they are. And, you know, you got to explain first with the backstory, and the OG was the best.
All right.
Oh, my God. This adds more pressure, bro. I'm over here like...
I know, right?
I'm over here
So we only have 1 minute to talk. I think I had the best story. Reason why is because poor Peter had a dad that was working with the mad scientist, or turned out to be mad scientist. And that's the thing that I really enjoy about my movie, bro. You get PTSD watching this movie, bro. It's so crazy to the point where like these villains are authentic. They didn't become villains. They by choice. They were forced to become villains. And that's the crazy thing about my movie, that the development in these characters, it's real. We have death in our movie. Gwen, you guys don't have a Gwen. I got a Gwen.
We're talking about backstories here.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Our characters had the best backstory.
Yeah.
The real nerdy, really not known Peter.
I mean, mine, I have to pretty much forfeit. I don't even have a backstory. You know,
Like, oh, he's there.
Marvel just decided to, you know what, go ahead, and we already explained too much in 2 movies. Let's just go ahead and keep it going. Keep the Marvel universe into what it's going on. I think, honestly, it had to do more with the fact that they were focused on the Avengers, because it was a lot to work on. They had a lot of big projects. I mean, the Avengers,
Yeah.
I think when he dropped it was whenever Infinity was coming out. It was the start of the Civil War,
Right.
which was the fight between Iron Man and Captain America team. And that's when he recruited Spider-Man. So it was kind of like they didn't really focus much in this backstory. So I think I have to forfeit this one just because I generally don't even have a backstory. Like, I mean, obviously Spider-Man has a backstory, but it wasn't really focused at all on it. And honestly, like me having to choose which would be a better, honestly, I would say Tobey, just because they pretty much focused half of a movie in the backstory for Tobey. The whole high school scene, the whole getting bullied a lot. I feel like it was more popular in that era. So that's why I think, honestly, Tobey wins on this one.
I feel like if I would have gotten a 3rd movie, I think that my character would have won.
I feel like your
Andrew would've
backstory deviates too much from the original story.
Yeah, it does.
My Flash was a way better bully. He kind of represented your typical jock. You know, with Andrew, it was the first couple of minutes he even like stands up to him. You know, it's kind of like the intimidation factor goes away. With Tom Holland, his bully, bro, it looks like he's the one that's supposed to get bullied. And with you know, Tobey's bully, it was your typical jock, big, strong dude, looked like the captain of the football team type stuff. Peter, he was small, skinny, this and that, non-masculine or muscular. And I feel like my bully pretty much was the typical bully that you kind of expect to see how you know, he would be the one that gets into Peter's head and stuff like that. So I feel like my bully was the best compared to both of y'all. Like I said, with Andrew, literally first couple of minutes, he's not even scared of him. He stands up to him like that. The intimidation factor goes away. And that's just how I feel about it.
Andrew Garfield, I would say that he looked too good to be bullied.
It looked like a model.
At this point, yeah.
Honestly, both bullies look like
Right.
they could be models, bro.
I feel like I did get a bully and I did get bullied. But I mean, we're talking about me dunking on him. I'm talking about me fighting back, actually like humiliating him. So I know that both movies had a fighting scene, but mine was more, crazy. And my my Andrew Garfield won basically all the fights. So I would say that you're right. Your bully was way better. I think my bully was a bully, but even then, whenever, for example, Uncle Ben dies, my bully was also giving me a hug at one point too during the movies. So I say that I was okay. I think I lost.
All right, man. I mean, honestly, again, I'm gonna have to forfeit on mine. Not even because like there's no way to compete. I mean, I guess it's the new generation of bully that Marvel's trying to put out that is just cyberbullying.
For real.
Type.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that guy is a bully.
What is he? Indian?
Comparing to what the comic books come as Flash as the bully for Spider-Man, it's like supposed to be a football player, jock, or a basketball player, which was played in Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
But this guy is not a bully at all.
For real.
He just verbally bullies Spider-Man, but that's pretty much
Right.
it,
I feel like you should get 0 points and I should get 9.
Not even a point.
Not even a point.
All right, so of course, it has to be Tobey. It has to be Tobey. I know, the creator of Spider-Man said Tom Holland, this and that, but once you put your art out there, it's about, the people in the community. And most people that are fans of Spider-Man, they know Tobey, brought that character to life. Peter Parker, whenever you see the movies of of Spider-Man, it feels like we're looking at his life of Peter Parker. It doesn't feel like it's an actor playing, of Peter Parker. Like the way that he brought life into that character was amazing. You even see from the scenes how, in the comics they talk about how like, he's socially awkward, just weird little kid, this and that. The first 5 minutes of the first movie, he's trying to catch the bus. Even the bus driver is laughing at him, and you just see like the embodiment of Peter before he becomes Spider-Man. And I feel like, Tobey was able to do that.
All right, so I get that you had to create the Peter Parker for everybody. And I get that this is that the nostalgia, the OG Peter Parker, but I feel like that Andrew Garfield was able to implement new technology that was not implemented in your movie and be able to create real spider webs, was able to create this science behind the corporation Oscorp that actually made Spider-Man real. So that's why I'm saying why Peter Parker with Andrew Garfield was better, because it was authentic. His own dad was the scientist that created Spider-Man. So that's why I'm saying my Peter Parker was better, because it was authentic, it was real. Yeah, he might have not been bullied enough, but at the same time too, he was able to fight these villains like a true villain. And unfortunately lost a lot of people, including Gwen and even Uncle Ben.
So I mean, obviously Tom Holland, he embodies what Spider-Man is. To me, he's the best Peter Parker, just because the way he plays, the dorkiness he does. I mean, he was too. I mean, a lot of people say he was too good looking to be a nerd, So it's like they don't really care about him, and that's why he's like the middle child, of Spider-Man.
For real.
Tobey Maguire, we all said he looked way too old to be Peter Parker sometimes.
I know, right?
And what embodies him, I mean, Tom Holland was the youngest actor to start playing the role, who got the role for Spider-Man. So it embodies the teenage years of Spider-Man, which that's what Spider-Man's supposed to be. And I mean, again, the mic dropper, the creator of Marvel, Stan Lee, he said Tom Holland was his invention whenever he created that character. That was his invention of creating Spider-Man and Peter Parker. So I mean, that's pretty much right there, like you can't beat me if the creator of Spider-Man said, this is who I envisioned whenever I created this character.
That's true.
But once you put that art out there, bro, like, it's the community now decides. Like,
I mean, no one really likes the middle child anyway. They're always so...
Well, of course, Tobey had the best Spider-Man costume. Whenever you think of Spider-Man, whether it be from the action figures, from the shows, it goes always back to the typical original Spider-Man costume, which is in the movie he develops. He comes out with the logo and this and that. I understand that you guys' movies are newer, so of course there's going to be more implementation of new technology, different looks, this and that. But Andrew Garfield, the reflective thing with the eyes. Come on, bro. What was that? That was whack. You can't do that to the original Spider-Man. With Tom Holland, I feel like his story was more about like Tony Stark kind of giving him all these suits of Spider-Man. It doesn't implement the originality that Spider-Man as a character is. It's kind of like little sugar daddy Tony Stark pretty much giving him the suit. So I feel like at the end of the day, my Spider-Man had the best costume.
So yeah, so at the end of the day, I feel like you gave me a good layup because everybody already knew Spider-Man's costume. So I feel like because of Tobey Maguire, they didn't really focus on my costume. I'm that middle child. Everybody already seen it. All right, cool. You're a child. Keep it going. So that's what I'm saying. In your character, there was a lot of instances where Tobey Maguire had to create that from scratch. His first costume was not the greatest. And
Trash.
You didn't have Daddy Stark over here giving you money and costumes. And that's the cool thing about yours. It's iconic. Yep. It's nice. Mine have zero technology. Yeah, I had the little cool spider webs, but they were scientifically modified to be spider webs. Strongest steel ever. That was really cool, by the way. Could pass even electricity. So that was the coolest thing about my costume and the spider webs, and that's it.
Tom Holland has so many options. Like he can create anything he wants to now. Yeah, especially now that he has charge.
Why though?
He's in charge of Tony Stark's industries. Who had the better costume now? Who gave it to him? Yeah, they had it tougher, but I have and we're gonna see it in the new movie too. There's gonna be so many costumes that are gonna come out, like the Spider-Man costumes. And as a fan, you love to see that. You love to see Spider-Man in different outfits, just in the classic red and blue. And each costume also has different powers. The stealth one, which is a spider monkey that was from so far from home. That one was so clean to me. Then the new one, the Iron Man suit. I mean, the Iron suit.
Iron Spider-Man he said it himself.
Daddy, I get your point. And the only reason why is because it is the new movies. So of course, with time, technology is gonna advance. You can't pretty much like you said. Even with yours, there were still new things that they added and stuff like that.
Barely, bro.
And again, my costumes also, keep in mind, your costume it's naturally created. It's in Spider-Man's wearing it. Most of mine are all CGI. So the CGI helps a lot to create all that vision of like
different ones,
different costumes, and the great like the black one that's coming out in the new movie, the iron suit with the arms in the back. It looks like Spider. That one was clean too. And then the one that he created, which is the nanotech one, which is just pretty much it shows in the trailer where it just pretty much just pops up the costume. And that to me, that one's crazy.
I get it.
The best costume.
Technology.
Technology. Just because of technology, you won straight up. Daddy Stark over here.
Daddy Stark used the credit card and said. So who had the best girl? Of course, Tobey had the best MJ. You can't beat that. Already with Andrew Garfield, Gwen, come on, bro. Come on. You can't freaking do a story with Gwen, bro. You got to do MJ. Just like how, Superman has Lois Lane, Spider-Man needs MJ. And I feel like my MJ was the best in the movies compared to Tom Holland's. You don't even know, anything really about her like that. In my movies, you even have a character development with MJ. You see how she's struggling in New York and then she builds up and now she's an actress. I feel like the storyline with her was shown a little bit more compared to the storyline with the movie or the girls in y'all's movies. And, that's why I feel like MJ in my movies was the best out of all of them.
Right. You even gave Peter a kiss.
Yeah.
Whenever he was
iconic.
hanging.
You can't beat that.
Right.
Has she even kissed you?
Sunday has kissed me, bro.
Honestly, my girl is weird. Let me put it this way. Who? Emma Stone? For real. So that's the point about how...
You're not proving your point.
I never have my real MJ. I never get a chance to have my real MJ because they cut the cord on the third movie.
And here's the common thing that people don't know, that they think, because I saw a lot of memes where it's like when Andrew Garfield's MJ dies, but it's not really true. Gwen was the one who died, which in the comics books she's supposed to die.
Yeah,
and the
she's
way
the first one, right?
the way they did her death was how the comic books portrays it, where the Green Goblin she's falling down, and then Spider-Man gets there too late, and she pretty much cracks her head open and dies. And a lot of people don't know that she has to die in order for him to meet MJ, because in the relationship, which in the movie again it happens where they're kind of like in a situation where like, yeah, they want to be together, but they don't grow much in their relationship, where like they want to either marry each other.
Right.
Because remember in Spider-Man, Tobey, MJ is going to ask her to marry him in the third movie. And then like they don't really create that development in the relationship. So obviously she had to die. That's the only way he would then meet MJ. And that's one big misconception they have about that movie. They thought it was just MJ dying, which is not true. It's Gwen who dies, and then he eventually would end up meeting MJ, but I mean, the third never happened with Andrew.
I would have had 2 girls, bro.
And with me, my round, man, I mean, it's Zendaya, bro, the goddess, I mean, Zendaya is a goddess, man. I mean, even though they don't have no character development, I feel like eventually in this new movie, they're going to have more character development for her. But, I mean, it goes into say where, like, I think MJ was obviously a redhead in the comic books, but they kind of want to change it in a new style, Kristen, where it's like more now into like, yeah, it doesn't have to be the redhead white girl as like MJ. On-screen chemistry, you can tell, and I mean, like,
it's
Tobey
never.
No, it is there.
you can tell it's not there.
I can tell it's not there.
It was never there with Tobey, and with Zendaya, you can always tell. That's why a lot of people were always like, pretty much saying like, are they dating? They always had the dating rumors for almost 5 years. They finally came out, and then they're actually dating. I mean, you go to the most liked picture on Instagram, and the most common picture on Instagram is my dear MJ, happy birthday. So, Instagram, the people don't lie, man. You see those numbers. MJ's the best one. Mine's the best one.
So, of course, Tobey, amazing, iconic action scenes. From, the first one with the Green Goblin going in there, destroying the building, that's amazing scene that everybody was like, who the heck is coming? Green Goblin right there. And then he, Spider-Man springs into action and has to save everybody. Spider-Man 2, the most iconic scene was whenever he saves the train. You see the train about to crash, and he there's no way that he could stop it, but he has to think quick because a whole train is right there full of people, so he has to go there and save them. And then even after that, you see how the people, they see that it's Peter, and they're like, man, it's fine, this and that.
Low-key, actually, when I was little, I almost cried on that scene. Whenever
you see the pain of him trying to save him.
Whenever, especially, and when everybody's carrying him back, and it's like all sad. I was like, I remember my 7-year-old me, like, I'm like, damn, no, Spider-Man. And then, bro, it's crazy how now that we know, what's his name?
Oh, Joey Diaz.
Joey Diaz.
I told him. I was
how crazy Joey Diaz was. Like, how we know how he is as an adult.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so funny to me now. But back then, I mean, he played a good character. It's like the tough New Yorker guy, I
was telling him, I was like, bro, he looks so young in those movies.
My movie had very, very action scene movies, very action packed, a lot of bullets, a lot of cars crashing, flipping. Do you remember whenever Transformers came out? And every time that there was a scene, there was an explosion going on. So I feel like during that time,
it was that vibe.
Yeah, Transformers was also being released, so I had to fight with Transformers. And even though my villains weren't that iconic, you had to have a Rhino shoot at everybody. You had to fight a what was his face, my Electro Man. So there's these really cool scenes, but it's just too much at this point. I feel like it really is too much.
My scenes are good. I don't think they're great. I think if we added the Avengers scenes, then it would be like, I would definitely be up there with Tobey. I think honestly with the action scenes with both movies, they're good, but they're not that like, they didn't bring that, that iconic that I didn't feel it in here. It's like watching the movie, like getting goosebumps and stuff. I didn't really get it. If this was after Spider-Man 3, then I would definitely win, just based off of the trailer, you're going to know these action scenes are going to be crazy.
Oh, thank God it hasn't come out yet.
But thank God it hasn't come out, because then I would have won this for sure. But the first two, I think it was a build-up. now it's gonna be all your villains are gonna come into my world now and my universe, and then they're gonna fight Tom. Which we don't know if the other two Spider-Mans are gonna come out. Maybe Tobey and Andrew come out. You never know.
Right,
Bro, they'll be legendary.
Then that'll be the final decider who's the better Spider-Man, comparing them all three in the same screen.
Tobey will whoop them. All right, man. So you got to go with OG Tobey. Tobey had the most iconic villains. So let's start with the first one. The first one, Green Goblin. Just like the Batman, you got to have Joker. And with Tobey, the Spider-Man, you got to have Green Goblin. And, that's how you started. You started with the bang with the first one. Second one, of course, Dr. Ock. Completely different person in the sense of like how they want to achieve power and how they get it into becoming a evil person. And then, the third one, you got Venom, you got Sandman, and then the resurgence of the Green Goblin through the sun. Those are all just iconic villains that you can't really beat. I don't even know the other name other than the electric guy from yours. Yours, I don't even know the name of the other ones because they're not memorable. How the Green Goblin and Dr. Ock are, even in the new movie, you talked about how our villains are coming back, and that's because they have that impact. There's not like they're bringing your villains back. They're bringing the iconic villains, Green Goblin, Dr. Ock, because they're the ones that make the impact. Like I said, just how Batman has Joker, you need to have Green Goblin with Spider-Man. And I don't think you guys could beat that.
I get that you have really iconic scenes, but this is about villains. And here's the crazy thing about the universe that, my actor is in. We have people becoming superheroes and supervillains from that Oscorp corporation. All of these, crazy scientists or crazy inventions because of these crazy scientists are becoming real. So I feel like if my actor would have been able to make a third movie or fourth movie, we would have seen the wildest villains possible. Maybe even some that haven't even come out from the comics. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, you have really good iconic scenes, but my actor had the best acting with Michael Bay action filled with explosions and everything.
I think the real villain is Oscorp then.
For real.
My villains, even though they weren't iconic, I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal, plays the Mysterio,
Yeah.
It's an iconic movie just because the villain made pretty much Peter Parker, which is Tom Holland, into a man. The whole movie is based off of, do I become the one in charge of the Avengers from now on? Or what am I doing? Do I just want to be a kid, or do I just want to be a superhero? He's fighting through that. And I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal plays a great role in that, and makes him seem, he kind of falls into that role model that he was missing from Tony Stark, because now he's dead. But
Sugar Daddy died.
It was more of not of a fighting scene, but more of a character development and of Peter Parker in the Marvel universe now, where it's like he kind of backstabs him, and then pretty much makes him seem like, no, you gotta be a superhero. You can be a human being, but most of the time you're gonna be a superhero and you're gonna have to fight. Obviously, that doesn't have to go into who was the best villain. I'll still give it to Tobey. The whole direction of Sony was doing with Spider-Man, I'm glad they decided to stop, obviously for obvious reasons with Andrew Garfield. But, good thing it all happens for a reason. Tom Holland became Spider-Man. And now he gets to date Zendaya.
For real, right?
That boy is lucky as hell, man.
Right. All right, boys. So the next question: who's the cutest Spider-Man?
Nah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
The rounds are done, bro.
All right, boys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe.
Let us know in the comments who you guys think is the best Spider-Man.
Any other characters y'all want to compare to, movies that y'all want us to compare, make sure you comment down below.
This is just the start. This is just the start.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. We are out. Thank you so much.